Okay.
What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. This is our round three DFS Showdown targets for the 2021 PGA Championship. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining us live. We are now into the weekend. It was an excellent, excellent day of golf viewing. Craig, what did you think of? What do you think of this leaderboard? What did you think of the day?
Well, so like to be honest, it was a little bit too much for me.
Yeah.
I put in a shift yesterday. I was sun up to sundown on the broadcast yesterday. I was sun up again, or not quite sun up because
Yeah, I think I saw you were up at 5 a.m. on Thursday. I mean,
I was up at
your
5
time.
a.m. Yeah, my time. But we got a dog that likes to wake up as soon as it gets light.
Yeah,
So I was up a little bit at that point, anyways. And I'm like, well, I'm not going back to sleep today because it's major, major time.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I started about 6 today, and I faded. I faded partway through the day, but got back to it kind of right at the end there. So I missed a little bit of the afternoon carnage, but I've got it recorded, so I'm definitely going to catch up on it.
Yeah, man, those final holes are exciting. Even on a Friday, they're dramatic. But it just seems like I was telling you before, it seems like a major championship kind of leaderboard, and I love it. I mean, you have veterans, you have, I mean, guys that have been there before. There's a lot going on, and I love it.
Yeah. So the one thing that I was thinking that I wish I would have really vocalized was you were talking about Brandon Stone as a play and like as a sleeper, and I was like, man, I think Brandon Grace is a really good sleeper. And
Oh,
then
he won Puerto
as you were
Rico.
talking about it, because I got confused about my South African Brandons, and then I never ended up going back and kind of committing to him as a play. So who knows whether he hangs up there at the leaderboard at the end of the week, but. I think Phil needs to be talked
That
about.
was okay. First off, big swing and a miss on Brandon Stone and Thomas Peters, but hey, that happens. You got to take your shot.
Yeah,
Um,
Schwartzel too hurts,
But
but
one of
yeah,
the things, speaking of those guys, one of the things we mentioned was the record 11 South African golfers in the major is a record on our podcast. We talked about that. Louis Oosthuizen and Brandon Grace, Christian Bezuidenhout, like great representation from the South Africans on
absolutely.
top of the leaderboard.
Yeah,
And guys that I expect to hang around.
yeah. Well, especially Usti, you have to think that he's dangerous. Um, Nice to see
Phil,
everyone in the chat. I hope I hear some 6 of 6s. Someone has a chance in the Millie 6 of 6.
Tim, I'd love to hear it. Take that down. 532nd. Absolutely. There's so much that can happen on the weekend.
Yeah. Hopefully you have good combos of guys. Yeah, guys who are gonna, I hope your bad guys are maybe like your poorly scoring guys right now are the ones who, like Daniel Berger last week, gonna work their way up
Yeah.
through the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so
But
so tell me, what do you think about Phil?
if you could turn back time, right? Like share, like Phil is turning back time a little bit. He had the lead. What was that? The Wells Fargo, Valspar, completely
First round
collapsed there.
leader. Yeah.
Yeah, first round leader. Playing really well on his back nines here. I personally, I don't think it's sustainable, but I love to see it. I love that invite to Torrey Pines later in the year to, possibly like have this career storybook kind of U.S. Open triumph. But I,
Yeah.
I just love that he's competitive. Like I love to see it.
I love to see it too. I mean, I think the question has never been, does Phil still have the talent? Because I think he clearly does. It's, can Phil keep it together through 72 holes? I think today was potentially the biggest trap. So maybe getting,
Yeah,
just with
yeah.
the weather, I do think so. I do think he had the best go of it. The ones who were on the back nine today to start. I think that's where he was. He was finishing through the tough stuff. Yeah, he was. He finished on 18 today. I think those are the people who were out early on 10 today. I think have had the best. Brandon Grace was in the same one. Bezadenhout was in the same wave. I think those guys had the best go of the four you could
Yeah.
think about.
Yeah, no, I agree. A couple of housekeeping. Please hit that thumbs up. Does mean a lot for our content, for our video. Subscribe if you have not yet already. If you're here for the picks, we're going to talk a little bit of the recap. We'll put a timestamp in the pick for the picks below. But we're going to recap the round because it's a major and we want to talk about it a little bit. So,
Yeah.
quickly, Tim D I mean, talking about lineups is about kind of like talking like a hole in one. Like everyone wants to talk about their own, but I mean, he has got a chance for $1 million. So let's
I
talk about
like it.
Spieth, Hovland, Usti, Casey, Connors, Hoff. I love Hovland to move up the board. So he seems
And
like
Spieth.
the
Spieth
and
is the one
Spieth.
that is really the weak point right now. Some sloppy putting there. So I think he has lots of potential to move up the board.
Hey, good luck, Timmy D. I mean, keep us updated tomorrow. Drop in tomorrow for our final round showdown. Keep us posted. Okay, Craig. Let's talk about
So,
who's most threatening on this leaderboard.
if I could take anyone to win right now, I'd take Louis Oosthuizen.
That's such a hard call.
It is
That's
such a
not.
hard call, but Brooks to me is more like a. I think he has the most firepower. I think like he's kind of like the high powered engine up there, but I don't know. Like I'm still not necessarily sold on him having the stamina to get through 72 holes here. But I mean, it's Brooks at a major. The guy's a stud.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I kind of agree with Brooks, and I don't want to say I think he's going to fade, but I kind of think he's going to fade. He was after the round today. He went to the range, and I saw someone on Twitter was like, "Oh, he's kind of like it's such a power move for Brooks to go after his like late round to the range, work on stuff, improve his knee isn't hurting." But like that's what Brooks does. Like he kind of puts on the show of like invincibility, but I don't know if that's exactly where he is health wise.
I mean, I think Louis Oosthuizen and Brooks Koepka are fairly different in terms of caring about the image they portray. I think Brooks is very, very aware of the image he portrays, but it's a very intimidating image, I think, to other golfers. Louis doesn't care, but I would
Yeah.
be just as intimidated personally if I was playing against him because the guy just goes out there. And I just think that Louis, it didn't feel like he did anything exceptional. This is just how Louis golfs, and this is why
Yeah.
I'm so high on him. Is because you won't see him being the best ball striker over the course of 6 months, and like, oh, of course he's gonna be in contention. It's more just like he just shows up and he has all the tools, and he seems to be able to turn it on in big tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely agree. To be honest, the more I look through this leaderboard, the more I think anybody really can kind of jump up within a stroke or two of the lead. And I mean, there's so much that can happen. So I mean, let's talk like
So
about today
Hideki.
a little bit. Like,
Well, let's talk about Hideki because we have
yeah,
the only person who could put on a Grand Slam potential
yeah,
here.
totally.
He's two back of the lead. His ball striking has been in great shape. Yeah, I mean, thoughts on Hideki besides the fact that he's playing great
Yeah,
golf?
I mean, he's right up there in ball striking. He's of those guys on the first page. He has the worst putting stats with Gary Woodland. So he can always improve in that, or he can kind of not. I mean, it is Hideki, but the ball striking is absolutely there. Yeah, he's threatening it. I also like Corey Connors. There's a lot of just like
I mean, Hideki's round today was a fairly exceptional round. So he was -4, but he was -4 in the afternoon.
yeah,
So he gained essentially eight
7, 8
strokes because
strokes.
it was playing +4 in the afternoon. So that's an exceptional round of golf that he played. But yeah, Corey Connors is there. Sung J M. I mean, those two kind of feel fairly similar in terms of how they play golf to
But
me. So
like
they're going to be steady. They're going to be working their way up the board.
think about the show yesterday at this time. Tringali's there. Berger, we've already moved on to the next to Charles Schwab. A complete like passing of ships in the night. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Like Spieth can move up, Hovland can move up. Like so there's a lot that can still happen. I do think it will score easier tomorrow, but uh, that just gives ball strikers a chance to move up. I think.
Yeah. Anyone else on the leaderboard here? I mean, okay. So we've got Matt Fitzpatrick showing there. Victor Hovland is also one of the guys at even. I do think he's still in contention. I would say, to the real threats, I would say you need to be even, maybe one over, but I just think that's because, I think Morikawa's at one over. Essentially those guys are going to have to do something special. So you kind of have to look at the golfers at those scores who have the ability to go do something special.
I think
I
a
mean,
special number's out there tomorrow, though. I really do.
yeah, it is, but like you have to look at you can't look at, like, I think Rory, even if he does something special from +3, I don't think
Yes,
that's going to get there to be in contention on Sunday.
that's fair.
So, a Hovland or a Morikawa at even or +1, they go do something special tomorrow, they can put themselves in contention.
And yeah, I agree with Brent Harris. He says the course and weather is Russian roulette. Like you can be leading, and then you're dead body on the beach. Like there
Yeah.
are big numbers that kind of creep around every corner, and it's super exciting.
Yeah. Moving on.
Notables. These guys
Oh
are
yeah.
all just missed. So these are kind of notable slash DFS notables, but DJ +6, 8%. This is kind of general ownership. Xander couldn't go up and down on 18. He's about 40 yards left. Just needed a par to get in. Xander, he's out at 23%. That's probably the biggest shift in terms of 6s. JT birdied 17, needed a birdie on 18, had an excellent approach, and his putt on 18 just curled around the cup. But he's out. Leishman's out at 11%. Brian Harman's out at 10%. So ultimately, that brings in the 6s down quite a bit.
Yeah. So I mean, Xander hurts me the most from a ownership point of view, but I don't even know. We were talking about this before we came live here. I don't actually know. So I have 6 of 6s of my 20, of my 20 entries. I'm not even sure if Xander cost me either one or two more, but none of my Louis Oosthuizen and none of my other sort of really top lineups. So I'm not even sure if it really hurts or helps because so many people have Xander. But obviously it always hurts because he was one of my picks this week. So you always want to get your picks through.
Well, let's flip over. 6 of 6 is about 14% in most contests. 5 of 6 is about 35%. I was telling you, so I got 4 of 20, 6 of 6 through. So I feel pretty good about that. But then I have 12 5 of 6 through. So Louis Oosthuizen hurt a couple. The Tringali collapse hurt a couple. So my 5 of 6s, I think they're all dead. But yeah, a little bit of stinging there. I didn't update the scoring average. So we're 2.78 round one. We're actually 3.51 in round two. So played significantly harder. Our picks, Craig, yesterday, won over. We beat the field by 2.5 strokes. That's cashing, baby.
Yeah. Now, and in terms of wave, it was within. So the PM AM wave definitely had the advantage, but it was within a tenth of a stroke overall.
Oh yeah, not much.
So they had essentially they had a 0.9 advantage on the AM wave had a 0.9 advantage on Thursday, and the AM wave today had a 1 stroke advantage. So essentially think about it as a 10th stroke. So you still have guys from both sides, obviously, that are right there at the top of the leaderboard, and not as big of an advantage as I thought the PM AM wave was going to get.
Yeah, no, I thought more as well. But I think it's maybe because yesterday afternoon played a little bit harder than I expected. So they kind of started off a little bit behind. So they had to play catch up this morning. But looking at the weather, so this is what I was talking about. I think it is pure ball strikers tomorrow. They can go low. I don't even know where low rounds have been. 5 and 5 again, I think. I think there could be a 6 or 7 under number out there tomorrow.
I think tomorrow, it depends on how they set up the course. They have the most opportunity to get aggressive with pin placements tomorrow based on the forecast, but I still think it's going to be the best scoring day.
Yeah, by far the best scoring day. I mean, there's still going to be wind that can pop up. You can get a weird gust out of nowhere because it's right in the ocean, and that's just what happens there. But it is absolutely going to be a moving day, and it's going to be super exciting for golf fans.
And then one of the interesting things I think is that it shifts. So you look at the direction from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and we have the same one we've had throughout the first 2 days. And then we start to see that shift to it's supposed to be the opposite direction on Sunday. So we start to see that shift happening tomorrow afternoon. It'll be interesting to see whether anyone kind of gets caught. It'll be tough. Essentially, it's going to be that 6 through 13.
14, yeah.
It's 5 and 14 are the two that kind of go crosswind.
Right.
But 6 through 13, they'll have the wind and then they'll lose it maybe at some point. But the crosswind will be tricky to play in, I would think.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to shift completely for Sunday. So every hole that's been in the wind is going to be downwind. So the bookends are going to be easier, and the middle part of the course is going to be tougher. Yeah. So it's going to make it good. It's
going to be fun. It's going to be a very fun weekend of golf. Yeah.
Should we do some picks?
Yeah, let's jump into it. Give us a like if you haven't already. I know there's a lot of people there that haven't because, or maybe mine just hasn't updated yet. It still says there's 3 likes here on my end.
We got a couple more than that, I think.
So I guess the one thing neither of us, I think I know all your picks. Neither of us went very obvious. So oftentimes ownership will lump onto the guys who are in the best positions right now, and it's not. I think it's always good for the qualifier. We definitely put it out there on Sundays because it's more obvious
Yeah.
on Sundays, but I'm gonna potentially play a couple of those guys. Despite their high ownership, because I just like where their game's at. But I think these are kind of the pivot plays, the low owned guys to plug in with them that I think there's potential real good upside with.
Yeah, I mean, we rarely just kind of go the cookie cutter guys out there. We try to dig a little bit. That's all. My favorite thing is research here. Come on, give me a break. Okay, I'm into it.
Yeah.
I really
Okay,
like my picks for tomorrow, so I'm into it. Let's do it.
let's do
Okay,
it.
Colin Morikawa is my first one, 9,800 on DraftKings. He's currently +1, went 70, 75, so backed up a little bit today. 7 birdies, 8 bogeys, kind of uneventful, kind of clean, keeping those big numbers off the scorecard. But what has he done? He has hit the ball amazingly well. 5.5 strokes on approach. That is fourth in the field. If you're first time watching, these are cumulative stats, so they're total over the first 2 days. So about 2.75 ish per day. I think that's quick math. 2.66 off the tee. That is kind of how Morikawa does it by driving accuracy. He's first in the field in driving accuracy, third off the tee, and then losing strokes short game. It's kind of interesting. So he's about positive 1.3 putting Thursday, lost 3 today. So that backs him all the way up to minus 1.67 for the tournament average. 72nd in the field. That's not good. Around the green isn't good as well. Minus 1.180, 70th. Things that we know he can clean up on. Like he had a positive day putting in day one. He was putting in the wind. It's not familiar for him. That's fine. I'm gonna kind of just give that a wash. I think he of anyone has the opportunity to just fire at pins, be the amazing ball striker that he is, and attack the course tomorrow. So one of the things I'm looking at is strokes gained to the green coming in. He ranked first strokes gained to the green over the past 3 months. This is on Data Golf in the field at plus 1.69. That's not right. I got to double check that number, Craig. But he was leading the second place person by 0.44. So he wasn't not just looking at ranks first and second. He was way ahead of the second place person. So I like Colin Morikawa. I think he sets up very, very well for tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. If you want to pull it up over there, I have the prices open here. So,
he is plus.
yes, I like it.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
It's loading. I had it, but now it's loading as I.
No, I totally agree. I do think so. I love his ball striking always. So it is good as it usually is. The thing about Colin Morikawa, we sort of lump him into this. He's a bad putter group, I think. But the thing, he's actually different than some of the bad putters because when he's putting well, he gets really streaky hot, and he actually has very good putting days. It's just oftentimes lumped in with bad putting days. So I think that's what makes him, combined with world-class ball striking, that's what makes him such a dangerous showdown target is that if he does have that hot putting day, like one of the guys I'm going to get to here is also a really good ball striker that the putting is the make or break for. But yeah, I really like Morikawa.
So Morikawa over the past 3 months, strokes gained tee green is plus 2.62. Second place.
That sounds a little more like first place.
Yeah, second place is Justin Thomas at 2.18. So 0.44 ahead of Justin Thomas. He's hitting the ball extremely well. I have FOMO of not playing him, so I'm playing him. I'm trying to get it back.
Yeah. I think we have seen that it's about precision off the tee too, which Colin Morikawa gives you. Yep. Yeah. Speaking of precision off the tee, well, he's accurate for how long he is. But I'm going Rory, 9,600. That's a crazy price for Rory McIlroy. He's gone 75, 72. He's plus 3, 7 birdies, 10 bogeys. You look at what he's done. He's been good, but not great tee to green across the board, and the putter has not been there. He's losing a stroke. These are also cumulative, so they're not. You expect Rory's ball striking numbers to be better than this, and they haven't been. But the thing, so Rory is a good putter. He may not be Brad Faxon top 10 good in terms of putting, but he's gained putting in 9 of his last 14 rounds. I do think if you have been watching the broadcasts, one of the takeaways, I mean, guess Rory gets tons of screen time regardless of how he's playing, but one of the clear takeaways to me is that Rory is playing so much better than he's scoring. Even today, when he dropped strokes on the way in, his front nine, he could have gone low on his front nine, and he was not getting he was not turning good shots into good scores, and that kind of can be the story with Rory. But the thing is, every once in a while, that it's kind of like an earthquake. There's like all this friction tension builds up, and it just breaks every once in a while. And he has these stupid rounds where he gains, like a Hideki today, gains 8 strokes on the field, and so he'll go out earlier, which I think, all things being equal wind wise, I would rather have players going out early. I think the course just
truer greens and all that.
Yeah, truer greens. Courses just play easier in the morning, so he's going to be out earlier. I think, let's be serious, Rory McIlroy is probably going to end up with a backdoor top 10 in this tournament. So how's that going to happen? I think it's going to get started tomorrow. I think he's going to have a good round tomorrow.
Yeah, I like it. As much potential for outlier round as anyone. I agree. I'm kind of split. It seems like the pricing is super soft tomorrow. I'm split between him and Bryson because they can go out there and they can destroy this course.
Both of them have that high upside potential in showdowns.
Yeah, have that high upside. And I think they're kind of priced around the same area. I think Bryson's 95. So just kind of crazy pricing for these two guys. So I'll be stuck between the two of them. I don't know which one I'll go yet. But yeah, Rory, absolutely. I mean, it's a coin flip. Who's going to have a better round, really?
Yeah, I'll take Rory if you want to take Bryson.
Oh, we're doing a bet?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. We'll think of some stakes.
Yeah, okay. 6-pack maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found 2 guys I really like tomorrow at their discounted price. So usually, I kind of go high, middle, low. I'm going kind of high and too low here because I really like these prices for a couple guys. Charlie Hoffman, 7,400 on DraftKings. He went 73.70. He's 1 under. Really nice round coming in late in the afternoon today. He has 9 birdies, 6 bogeys, 1 double, playing really, really well. Hitting the ball really well, plus 3.56 on approach. That's 16th. He's positive off the tee, barely positive around the green, but that's fine. And he's putting well. I mean, he's rolling it well. That's totally fine to see. 2.77. He's 18th. I think that can continue into tomorrow. But that form leading in as a ball striker, he ranks 6th in the entire field. In strokes seen tee to green the past 3 months, a plus 1.69. I think that, he's just a hot golfer. I'm going to continue to ride him tomorrow. And I think these guys that are hitting the ball well, especially coming in and continuing that in the tournament, when there's less wind, they just have a better chance to go low. And I think that's Charlie Hoffman.
Yeah, I have to say it is one that I will be cheering against. Now, whether that means I get there for showdown plays or not, because you play it, then you're like, oh, okay, I don't mind so much, because I think he's fairly chalky coming in as a play tournament long. And I lumped him into my Kirk, Tringale, like these guys that I was like, these guys have been playing good, but I don't know, majors are different asks. And I lumped him into that category. So I definitely tournament long, I am cheering against him because it is there's going to be a lot of people who he is one of their lower paid guys in.
Yeah, I might be biased, but I think I have him in half my 6 of 6s. So I'm cheering for him for sure. So maybe as a showdown play, pump the brakes because I am biased towards him, but I just like where he's at.
Yeah, so but the thing I don't know is I might still play him because then I care less if he does. I'm like, oh, okay, well, he did good for my showdown team, but so I don't know what I'm going to do with him yet, showdown wise, but definitely tournament long wise, cheering against him. Okay, my next one here, Abraham Answer, 7,900. I really tried to plug in Patrick Cantlay, who's 7,800, and I could not sell that one. So we're going with Abe Answer.
The stats weren't lining up or what?
Oh man, I can't tell people to keep playing Patrick Cantlay. I might do it, but it's the play that I'm going to potentially make that I cannot in good conscience recommend to other people.
It's stressful watching that shot tracker of his, man. It's stressful. So,
regardless, Abe Answer, 74-72. He's +2, 4 birdies, 4 bogeys, and a double. The ball striking has been good. The short game and the putting has not been. Really exactly. If he continues to hit the ball like he did through his first 2 rounds, I think that's exactly what you need. But he's gained strokes in 15 straight rounds. like I'm not saying in 13 of 15 rounds, like it's 15 straight rounds. It's absurd, first off. So
Yeah.
I don't, in any way, I don't expect for there to be a fall off. It's not like, yeah, no, it's just crazy to me how consistently good he's been playing.
Yeah.
And a lot of it has been with his tee to green. You know, he led the field tee to green at Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo. Yeah.
So his game is just in such a good place. The thing that I think there's really potential to turn around, you know, his around the green, he's a positive guy on the year, but the putting, he's a good putter. So the fact that he is losing through 2 days, he's gained putting in 8 of his last 10 rounds, and his average for all 10 of those rounds is over a full stroke. So you know, there's a ton of potential to be made up if he happens to have one of those good putting days that I think Abe Answer absolutely can have. So, you know,
Yeah.
the price tag, there's a lot of very, very attractive plays around 7,900. I don't think Abe Answer is going to be the most popular one there. So that's where I really like to play is I think it's a good pivot from, you know, we've got Brooks is right there. We've got Hideki
Yeah.
is right there. There's just there's tons of plays right there. So I think that Abe Answer to me is the one that the score will not tell the story of how good he's playing.
Yeah. I mean, I think I am kind of the general public when you say that, because I see that I'm like, no, give me one of those guys with more firepower, because as much as Abe Answer's been playing well, leading, I mean, the entire field, the strokes gained tee to green, Wells Fargo, you know, you got to hit it, you got to get it out there. I still have this mental blockage of like, well, you know, he won't be able to reach all these par fives and twos, so he's gonna have less scoring chances, but he keeps just scoring well.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'm making one lineup if I'm gonna get there, but that's my own, like you said, that's the kind of general public perception, and it's a good pivot off that. The
Yeah.
stats tell a different story.
Well, and I think one of the things I would sort of the reason I come back to it, he was one of my plays at the start of the week. He was my third of our DFS picks show. But the thing I'm coming back to is I think through 2 days, we have learned that accuracy is more important than distance.
Yep.
And so, you know, I went with Rory still because I think he is accurate for how long he is. But Abe Answer being 10th in this field off the tee, that is not a coincidence. Corey Connors being up there, Sungjae Im being up there. Like I think the reason we see a lot of these people who are not bombers up there on the leaderboard is because that's what the course is asking you to do.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay, my third pick, the guy I thought was just a great value again. I had to get to him. Matt Wallace, 7,200 on DraftKings. He's gone kind of, I mean, 73, 1 over each day. He's 2 over on the tournament, 8 birdies, 8 bogeys, 1 double. He's positive everywhere. So he's putting pretty well, 1.39, 40th there, kind of middling around the green approach, and then 1.71 off the tee, 30th there. I do wish the strokes gained approach were a little bit higher, but I just feel like for the caliber of player Matt Wallace is and how he's been playing lately, this price is just too cheap. So again, looking at same thing with Charlie Hoffman, same thing with Morikawa. How was their ball striking, strokes gained tee to green, coming into the tournament, and you know, building off that, he ranked 4th in the entire field the past 3 months in strokes gained tee to green, plus 1.79. I think with a calmer day, Matt Wallace is one of those guys that can go out there, put a low number up, charge a leaderboard. Wouldn't surprise me at all. So it's just another kind of seems like a pretty obvious play to me.
Yeah, I actually went to go change my third pick and I plugged in Matt Wallace, put in his name and his price, and then I looked and saw that you had already had Matt Wallace as a pick. So I like the pick.
I was
think
like, oh, sorry, did I steal?
it's a very attractive price at 72. I think he's been playing good coming. I like guys who are playing good coming into the week and then they still make sense. And you know, at +2, he's not going to have the ownership that I think he should at 7,200. So I like the play.
And the one guy I almost didn't put in besides him is the guy you're going to talk about. So it's funny. We're a little bit on the same thought.
Yeah, probably too much. So it's better when we disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, my last one. I'm going Grillo.
Yeah,
Emiliano Grillo, 6,700, 77.72 +5. Squeaked his way into make the cut. 7 birdies, 5 bogeys, 2 doubles, 1 triple. You know, his ball striking has not been great. It's not been as good as it usually is. His putter has been decent. He's 28th in the field in putting. Losing a ton. I would say 80th. I'm not sure how many guys we have at +6, but it must be somewhere close to 81 because losing 2.5 strokes around the green has to be pretty close to dead last.
It's 81, yeah.
Yeah, so he is dead last around the green, at least of the guys who made the cut.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I think the ball striking has room to improve. I think the putter, if we can keep it there, that's good. So you look at Griot coming in, or no, this is including these rounds. He's gained strokes in 10 of his last 14 rounds. But then the thing I love, so that's a decent but not great gaining percentage, I would say. He's gaining at least 2.4 essentially in 8 of those rounds. So over half the time, we're gaining at least 2.4, which is a good round.
Yeah.
And then in 3 of those rounds, we're talking over 20% of the time, he's gaining at least 6.23. So he's going to be one of the first guys, if not potentially the first guy on the course. And he's going out there, like, he is one of these people you can be like, of course he is 5 under through 9 holes. Like, of course he is, He also could be 4 over through 9 holes. So this is one of those ones that at 67, I'm going to play a few showdowns tomorrow. I'm not going to plug him into every one. I'm going to plug it into a few as my, like, last man in to give me some salary and has huge potential upside. Just with the ball striking. So, 1.6 essentially cumulative through 2 rounds. We're talking about 0.8. He's a little bit better than that over his last 50 rounds. So I also think he is one of these guys with his approach play that has very high upside there. He can, he can get it on a roll and throw daggers. So I think he's probably better on a calm day. I think he's going to be out there when the greens are rolling and has the chance to score.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the tier 2 burger to me of like saving lineups a little bit. His 72 today is almost 4 strokes better than when he was playing, like the group he was playing with. So that, like, he beat the field by 4 strokes to make the cut on the number, including that birdie putt on 9.
After a 77 in his first round. Yeah.
After a 77. So, like, I love it. I love him on Pass Ballum. That's why we liked him coming in. I liked him on Coastal. Pure ball striker. So it completely fits the theme with the lineups I'm going for tomorrow. So it's a great price for Griot. It's worth the risk to me. Even if I'm playing one, he might make it in. But yeah, if I'm playing a couple, he'll make in 1 or 2 of 3 or 4.
Yeah, but definitely more high risk, high reward, I think, than say a Matt Wallace.
Yeah, for sure. We got a couple questions here. Got a couple comments. Weekend showdown. Both really play weekend contests. So I don't have anything there. It'd probably be.
I mean, I would say a lot of the guys, like, I definitely would like Rory. So a Griot, I would be less inclined. I'd be more inclined to play Griot in day to day than I would in the weekend one. Although, that said, he does have the chance to move up the leaderboard from +5. A Colin Morikawa, I also think, is someone I would like. Hovland is someone I would like. I think, again, it would be somewhat similar to Showdown, where people will look at the guys who are, scoring the best through 2 rounds, and they're going to get higher ownership than they should. I'm pretty sure the weekend ones don't count finishing positions.
They do not. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at some stats. The guys I would maybe look at, like maybe Sung Jae, maybe a Paul Casey, who we'll talk about in a second, maybe Tyrrell Hatton. Those guys that are more of the superstar steady mold that I feel like can get it done both days in weather, possibly if that comes Sunday as well. So Steven said...
Yeah, and... Sorry, go ahead, Adam.
I was just going to say, Steven said, what? No love for Casey? I got a lot of Casey moving into the weekend, so I'm kind of... I didn't want to double down too much, but I like where he's at. His approach play has been strong. Greens and regulation, it all looks pretty good for Casey.
Oh yeah, and I definitely have love for Casey. We can't bring up Casey in every show, but he is one of the guys. So I said Answer at 7,900. There's a lot of people around him that will attract ownership. Casey is at 8,000.
Yeah.
I like that price for Casey. I probably will have some exposure to Casey in showdowns, but I definitely think there's you're going to get a bit of an ownership discount with Answer as compared to Casey.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's good point. I think
Myron Kidd is saying can't with Morikawa and Showdown, best ball striker, but he thinks that this isn't Northern California, conditions are faster. I hear you. I do think that Morikawa, to me, it's just a streaky putter. I'm going to give him a shot putting anywhere. I don't think this is a whole lot different from concession.
Yeah.
His putting at concession was out. It was crazy how well he putted there. It was his second week with this saw putting grip. I just think, to me, with his putt, I mean, he's so steady as ball striker. His putting is very up and down, but when it's up, it is up.
Yeah. I mean, it is kind of like I wish I feel like after seeing the first couple of days, like how did I not have Morikawa in tournament long? And I'm kind of kicking myself for that.
It
But
was an expensive price tag coming into the week.
yeah,
Because you were getting Xander cheaper, you were getting Hovland cheaper.
right.
It
Yeah.
felt expensive. If I want to say if he was at 95, I think he probably would have made a lot more lineups than if he was at 98, which is silly because it's not a huge difference. But
Yeah. But I mean, I love watching him play, and his ball striking is such a safe floor that he'll convert a couple chances even when he's off putting, it seems like. So
yeah. Yeah, I don't see any other questions here. Brent Harris is saying he likes Grace this weekend. I would be happy to see Grace contending. It wouldn't necessarily, I don't have stake. I was telling Adam, the one guy I'm potentially cheering for the most that I have zero stakes in is Christian Bezuidenhout, because
yeah.
I like to cheer for that guy. I'm kicking myself that I didn't plug him into any lineups.
Yeah, I'm the
Um,
exact same here. Barry said Cole Hideki at the Masters going into the weekend. Watch out for Bryson. He's going to make a huge move. Good luck, all. I agree. That's what I was kind of saying with Craig's Rory pick. It seems like Bryson hasn't been playing well, but like, lo and behold, he's at 1 under and
mhm.
is primed. So it's scary when you think a guy's not playing well and they're right in the hunt.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot of people that can play poorly and score well.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a wrap.
Yep. Good luck
Enjoy
tomorrow,
the
guys.
Yeah, enjoy the weekend. It's going to be a fantastic weekend of golf. I'm already so excited. Good luck, and we will see you same time, 7:30 p.m. my time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, for our final round showdown plays.
Sorry if that wasn't clear. 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. If you're
Yeah,
in the middle, you're used to figuring it out. So, yeah.
yeah. All right. Good